first of all, thank you to everyone who is in attendance here. But even more importantly, thank you, Lee and Danielle, who has joined us as VIP creators from the Amazon creator ecosystem to give perspective on how brands can really win with the right relationships and partnerships, and how affiliate can really be transformational for a brand on Amazon. And of course, we have the wonderful Shep here, who is Envision Horizons Director of Affiliate Marketing. He has built our service and offering from the ground up and is our in-house expertise. I'm Laura Meyer, founder and CEO of Envision Horizons, and I'm so excited to learn even more about the affiliate space today. As some housekeeping items, we have a little chat box here on the right-hand side. As you have questions, please throw them into the chat box. We will answer them at the end, but encourage a live dialogue. So Shep, I'm going to kick it to you to give a little introduction on yourself, and then we'll pass it to Danielle and then close with Lee.
Sounds good. Hey everyone, I'm Shep McAllister, Affiliate Director here at Envision Horizons. Work with all of our clients to optimize their Amazon affiliate strategy and connect them with some of the best creators in the space, like Lee and Danielle here. So excited to talk more about that.
Hello, I'm Danielle. My tag is passionista_soul. I have been an Amazon creator, I want to say, for 6 years now. I've been in a lot of their beta programs and have really grown with them. So excited to chat all about it.
Hi, I am Lee Funky, founder of Fit Foodie Finds, been in the industry for a really long time, editorial, social, and now affiliate with Amazon, which has been a really fun way to kind of expand the business. So happy to be here.
Amazing. So just to walk everyone through the journey for the next hour or so, we're first going to have Shep introduce the Amazon affiliate landscape for those who maybe aren't as familiar with the opportunity and how the ecosystem has changed dramatically, including in the last week. And then we're going to do a panel where I'll be asking a series of questions to Lee, Danielle, and Shep. And at the end of the day, we really hope that you leave with newfound knowledge in how you can establish even better partnerships with top creators and what to look for, as well as we will be giving a special offer at the end for those that are interested in testing out affiliate, especially as brands and sellers approach the Prime Day that will likely be earlier than years past.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, so Amazon affiliate has been a hot topic over the past couple of years. I always find that kind of amusing because Amazon affiliate and the Amazon Associates program has been around essentially as long as the internet. It was started in 1996. By some accounts, it was the first affiliate program ever created. Some people say it's 1-800-Flowers. Accounts differ there, but has been around for a very long time. Has its roots very deep in the publishing ecosystem, increasingly has its roots very deep in the creator economy and the influencer ecosystem as well, which we'll talk about today. What is new in the space, though, in the last few years through platforms like Creator Connections, which we'll talk about, is the ability as a brand to further incentivize creators and publishers to promote your products by offering commissions on top of what they would earn normally through Amazon Associates. Creator Connections has really blown up in the past year. When I started here at Envision about a year ago, there were something like 30,000 campaigns on Creator Connections. When I checked this morning, there were over 580,000. So more and more brands are pouring into the space, offering commissions. I think that's bringing more creators and more publisher interest as well. So here at Envision, we offer what we like to call a leather glove service for Amazon affiliate marketing. So we work with every client to understand their individual goals for the channel and how the business is structured on Amazon to align on a campaign strategy. So once we launch, we will market those campaigns directly to the most relevant and the most impactful affiliates to ensure they can find the campaign, they can opt in, they understand what the opportunities are, what deals the brand is offering, what their top products are. And then we'll make sure we're managing every aspect of the day-to-day, including responding to creator messages through Creator Connections. And Lee and Danielle, I'm sure you've had your share of frustrations with that platform, which I'm sure we'll get into. We manage gifting and sampling for our clients. We monitor for new content. We have our own in-house analytics platform to help ourselves and our clients make sense of all the affiliate data and understand how it fits into their broader Amazon media mix, who their top creators are, the profitability of the channel so that we can make adjustments as we go. We double down on creators that are showing the most potential, and then we equip affiliates with all the information they need ahead of tentpole events like Prime Day or the big spring sale coming up just next week. We make sure that we get all the information about deals and offers out to creators as early as possible so that we can maximize the opportunity for our clients to get covered. And because we're a full service marketplace agency and not just an affiliate agency, everything we do with the service is aligned with each client's overall Amazon business. I think what we found is that to be successful in this channel, you really need to have a hand on the wheel. It's definitely not a set it and forget it platform. So with that, I'll pass it back over to Laura to moderate what I think is going to be the meat of this webinar, which is the conversation that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. So this first question is really pointed to Danielle and Lee. So if I'm a brand, what do I do to stand out to get a top creator such as yourselves to promote my product and to partner with me? As Shep shared, there's almost 600,000 active campaigns. That's a lot of noise to cut through. How can I do that?
I always appreciate, so I obviously deal with like being Amazon, we get a lot of emails from like Chinese sellers and things like that. So I always appreciate in the email, like that there is visibly what the product is, like a picture of what the product is. Obviously, if you're a reputable brand and your logo and all of that, it brings a lot of credibility to the email and what you're asking for. But if we're talking about like once you're kind of within that like pitch where you're trying to figure out like what the parameters are going to be and what you're going to offer and that sort of stuff, I think that if you were really going to set yourself apart in this day and age, like putting in some sort of like ad spend or something about that, because I think that would really like set yourself apart and also show that you are super aware of what's going on right now, like just in terms of how content is performing, organic versus paid sponsorships and that sort of thing. So I feel like that would definitely be helpful.
Yeah, I can follow up on that. So yes, to a bajillion emails. I'm the type of creator who loves a long-term relationship with someone. One-off partnerships never really work. So knowing that a brand is kind of in it with you is great. There's a select few brands that I know that I can always turn to that are always going to have money in their creator connections, that have a decent percentage. They're stocking their products. It's the worst when you're trying to promote something and everything is sold out. So just kind of creating those relationships with brands that I know that I can rely on. Danielle mentioned an ad strategy. I love an evergreen ad that I can keep running. And so if a product is going to run out, that's really challenging for us as creators to continue to spend if we're not seeing the ROI because the products are out of stock.
And I love that you highlight this because I think a lot of brands focus on, oh, well, I just need to have high commission rates to capture the attention of creators. But being a reliable partner and having the fundamentals of inventory in stock and campaigns within Creator Connections that are running and live ongoing is so important. And that I think a big lesson for a lot of brands is that affiliate marketing is not a on and off switch type marketing tool. It needs to have a evergreen strategy where maybe you do lever up and down around those tentpole events. But to really get the best creators, you need to be there consistently. I still want to drill down into like how to break through the noise, because you have your go-tos, you have who you know, who you've been working with. But if I'm a brand you've never heard of before, how can I get your attention? Do I need to be sending samples to you unsolicited? Is it LinkedIn? Is it sending you a DM? Is it email? Is it just having a very generous commission and Creator Connections out of the gate? Like what waves the flag that gets the attention of top creators such as yourselves?
I think sending out samples is always a good way to like introduce yourself. I feel like most people aren't going to say no to like, hey, no strings attached. Like, we just want you to see this, get the product in your hands. It gives us brand awareness to obviously be able to try it, become aware of who you are, what you represent, what your products are. I definitely do not peruse through Creator Connections, like searching through brands. This is just me. When you go into Creator Connections, there will be like recommendations for you at the top, whether it's products that you have talked about before, you have posted before, or maybe, I don't even know if it's sometimes they think it's something you might like. But once it gets past those recommended products, like I am not sifting through 500,000 like listings of a lot of brands that are not great. So to me, it's not like a brand can just like post to Creator Connections and hope. I mean, maybe hope somebody like picks it up there. I think there definitely has to be an outreach directly to that creator to try to get the product in their hands and just start to form a relationship.
Leah, I was going to say, you mentioned how you really like to have long-term partnerships with brands. Are you setting up separate contracts with these brands? Or is it still more so like we've worked together in the past, you're consistent in your inventory and your campaigns, I'm just going to continue to promote and partner with this brand?
I haven't set up any contracts per se, but like long-term relationships in that when there's like new drops or if something is going on sale or keeping us posted for Prime, Black Friday, just kind of having that like face-to-face real relationship, I just find to be so much more beneficial. I feel more invested, and I also feel like the brand is sort of more invested in me. When you mentioned searching through Creator Connections, sometimes I find myself doing that only because I know, and this is more fashion specific, but 5-10 brands, Amazon stores could have the same product. So if like they use the same stock images, and so you know it's the same product. And so obviously if I'm going to be promoting that product, I want the highest commission on that. So that's one reason why I kind of search through Creator Connections, is just to make sure that I'm getting the biggest bang for my buck. And then when it comes to product sampling, I would love if like there was a way to opt in on these brands and then give them our information, and then they just send the product, as opposed to like every time there's a new something like fill out this form, we have this. The form filling out can get really overwhelming. So if you do have that relationship like I do with you all, I'm like, opt me in for like X, Y, and Z and send me, the new stuff, just so that we can have it, see if we like it, and then if it naturally fits in, it fits in.
Yeah.
And Shep, I'm going to direct the question at you because you've been running our campaigns for our clients now for almost a year. What is working on behalf of our clients to then get the right type of creators to pick up our brands?
I think you get introduced to a brand the first time, whether that's them reaching out through email, which we do, finding them searching through Amazon, finding them that was promoted by another creator or another publisher. And you start to get data on them as a creator, as a publisher. You start to understand which products resonate with your audience, which ones have a good click-through rate, which ones have a good conversion rate, which ones do people like buying. And then I think when you get to tentpole events like Prime Day or the big spring sale or Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that's when you can double down. And as a brand, you can reach back out to the creators who have had some success, maybe on a lower ebb throughout the year with an evergreen campaign or with your hero products, and say, hey, for Prime Day, we're offering the biggest discount on this product. And you haven't posted this one yet, but we have that relationship. We know that this brand resonates with your audience. Maybe you can give this one a try, and obviously like be available to provide samples, be available to provide promo codes if that's something that would help move the needle for that particular creator. But really, when you get to those tentpole events, you tend to be doubling down on the brands that you already know your audience is going to resonate with.
And so for Lee and Danielle, you are both top producing Amazon affiliate creators. What do you do that one has really engaged your audience, but more importantly, made it so that the audience trusts you to potentially purchase your product recommendations? Like, how do you go about that authenticity?
For me, I just feel like it's time, right? So people either like what you posted, they follow you, and they're just with you for so long. I mean, we've both been doing this for years and years and years. So I definitely don't like posting things or wouldn't post something that I haven't tried or I'm not using or that I don't believe in. Obviously, I mean, that's just like 101, right?
Yeah.
We were posting things that were like not good, and then your audience buys it and they're like, this is crappy, then like they're not going to trust you anymore. So I think really posting things that you really love and that you're passionate about and that you stand behind.
I agree. And also gaining the trust of your following, being online for such a long time. I think people know so much about you, and you'll meet someone on the street and they'll bring something up and you're like, wow, I made an impact on that person, even if it was like because I told them about Miralax or something. So I think just creating those like real relationships with your people, letting them in on your struggles and just like the secrets of your life, creating that relationship that will make them want to buy something from you. It is like a very special skill to have, and it's something that like it's learned. So having that trust, like you can look great in an outfit, but I think people will buy something from you because they feel like they're your friend.
Yeah. So I want to touch on one of the big changes that happened in this industry, even in the last week. And it goes back to data and insights and how you use that to develop your own content and promotional strategy. So what's happening today and where are you getting those metrics to make those decisions?
I could start with this one. The last week has been very challenging. So they took away all of our product data. So we're really just winging it out here, hoping you guys use Creator Connections, because that's really where we're getting our product data information right now, is through their Creator Connections reporting. So yeah, more important than ever, I think that data is being exported, and we're kind of figuring out our strategy right now for the spring sale, just based on like what's currently trending because of Creator Connections. But it's been very, very challenging not having that information, especially since I know Danielle and I both run a pretty serious ad strategy. And this data helps us fuel our spend. And if we don't know what we're selling, it's really hard to be confident in like adding more money to our meta ads. And that's what helps us convert sales and make us money and you money and Amazon money.
And let's talk about the meta ad strategy here for a moment, because I'm not sure most brands are aware that creators are doing this. So do you maybe want to walk us through what you're doing with Meta and how you use it to generate, your own business, right? Like you're genuine creators, you're telling very honest and authentic stories, but what you do is also hard work and very vulnerable work as well. So how are you going about scaling your own personal brands and businesses?
I think a long time ago that content used to be very organic, and that used to be good enough to have a successful business. And I think slowly over changes, TikTok Shop came out, that totally changed the TikTok platform. Instagram has really changed their algorithm and changed, I don't know what they're doing over there, like changing everything. So I feel like for many people, organic content has kind of fallen a lot. And I even think bigger creators who are still even getting some views, it's definitely less than what they used to get. Mm-hmm. So it came a point where ad spend, which really was never a thing, has really become an integral part of a lot of people's businesses, if not all businesses. I'm not going to speak for everybody. But most of my creator friends that I know have had to start using ad spend, and it's really changed the game in terms of how you're posting, what you're posting, how many times you're posting. Are you just like, it really becomes about the ad spend and how that is doing and how those ads are running, and almost like I'm going to post this on Instagram to get it up there so that I can then create these ads. It's just totally changed. Everything has totally changed. So I actually do have a Meta ad rep that I talk to that, works with all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's been definitely a big change in the business.
Yeah, it's a pay to play platform. So for the audience here who maybe isn't as familiar with the dynamic because of the social media algorithms adjusting from prioritizing organic to now prioritizing paid ads. Creators themselves are having to use paid advertisements for their own discoverability, but also the monetization of their affiliate programs. And so I guess my question for both Lee and Danielle is, who's footing the bill of that? Are you partnering with brands on that? Is it arbitrage based on the cost of a sale compared to your affiliate percentage payout? How is that working from an economic standpoint, and how can brands be good partners in that dynamic?
I mean, for the most part, I would say that we front the bill. Like the ad spend is all stuff that we're doing on our end. But I do think that in terms of sponsored products, there are some brands that I work with that will boost the post, or like they know that that's going to happen. I think that as brands, I'm sure you're aware, as soon as we have to put like hashtag ad or sponsored on any post, as soon as they make you put those hashtags in, that post is not going to go anywhere. It's going to tank. So sometimes like creators will charge a whitelisting charge. So if a brand wants to say, okay, then we want to use your video in an ad for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is, there is a charge for that. You can, as a brand, boost like one of our posts. But the trick there for the creator is that the link that we would want you to use is our affiliate link. So a big turnoff for me in terms of a brand coming in and being like, we want to work with you. And then the minute, and sometimes we'll like be in negotiations and I like totally forget this. And at the end, they're like, okay, we want you to use our link. And I was like, wait, but I have my own link. Now, when I use your link, I lose all commissions. So that would be like a big end of the deal for me, for the most part, if I'm not allowed to use my own link, unless like they're paying a really good amount of money for that. But yeah, like a brand can boost and use our link in the boosting process. So we still get commissions, but it's like boosting the visibility of the content, and then we're all happy. But I do think that eventually it's going to have to become part of like the whole sponsored post sort of thing, because I don't know, I just feel like, especially like I said, when you have to say that it's an ad and just like that the organic views are dropping anyway, it's just like a double whammy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it doesn't win. It's not good for us and it's not good for the brands.
I do want to add into with my personal ad strategy. I know that I am extremely strategic with every single link that I am boosting. We can only boost to lists on our storefront, so we can't boost to direct products, but we can boost to our storefront. So every single item that is in a list on my storefront is so strategic down to creator connections, especially. So we have kind of variable commissions, and sometimes it wouldn't make sense for me to boost something where I'm only making, 4%. If I could get creator connections, that's a 15, 20, 30% addition to that. So I think people that have an active ad strategy, creator connections is a massive part in the success of their ads, especially if we're trying to work smarter, not harder, and really make the ROI of those ads worth it. I agree with Danielle. I think it would be amazing if brands, could come in and give us some cash to kind of play around with. But yeah, like she said, the more authentic the post, the better it's going to do, because it's more real. We're not going down this checklist of things that we have to say about a product. We're literally just like showing them why we love it, how we use it, why it makes our life better, kind of a thing.
Yeah, to ask a slightly leading follow-up question to that. When you guys are looking at creator connections campaigns, are you paying attention to like how much budget is, like obviously you're paying attention to the commission rate, or are you paying attention to how much budget is left, how much time is left before the campaign is due to expire when you're making those decisions about what you can boost?
100%. In one of my longtime brands that I started working with last year, that's converted really well for me. And the fact that there is always $1 million in their creator connections pot is like, okay, I can put an ad up for this. It's not going to run out. Sometimes when there's only 5,000, if 3 of the top creators get a hold of that money is gone in like a week. I'm not saying everyone has to spend $1 million, but it is like a really nice reassurance knowing that pot of gold is there.
Absolutely. And I am going to get to a lot of the questions in the chat box at the end, but I do want to answer Andrew's question because it is timely. Shep, do you mind walking us through what is the reporting update that happened last week, just to bring everyone up to speed?
Sure, and Danielle and Lee, feel free to jump in here. But my understanding is that whereas before affiliates, influencers in the Amazon influencer program could see every product that sold through their links. So whether that was someone clicking a link directly to a product and checking out, or something else that they added to their cart during that shopping journey, creators got to see exactly what their audience was buying, and then they could use that information to make decisions around future products that they might want to create content about, future boosting decisions they might want to do on Meta. Now, since these changes, I think the way it was designed was that creators would only get access to products that they linked to directly, and only if they sold a certain number of them. I think it was 4 within whatever time period you were looking at. The reporting, as it has rolled out over the last week, has been quite a bit buggier than it was stated to be. Is that a fair summary, Lee and Danielle, of kind of what's going on?
I'd say so.
Thank you, Shep, for catching everyone up to speed with the ever fast changing ecosystem of affiliate. And on that topic of the broader ecosystem, I'm curious to hear like what formats are working when at the end of the day we're pushing the transaction to Amazon. But is the discovery happening on TikTok? Is it happening on Instagram? Is Amazon Live a really exciting opportunity for brands? Like where is that initial inspiration for a sale occurring?
I feel like that is going to depend on the creator and like where their strongest platform is. I also feel like it depends on what month of the year it is, because I feel like everything is changing all the time. Whereas a few years ago, TikTok was like the hottest thing. I think when TikTok Shop came out, it completely killed Amazon sales. My theory is that they just literally like shut down Amazon accounts because we're a direct competitor to TikTok Shop. So that used to be my biggest platform. And now views on there are like ridiculously low. And I think with Instagram, right, then Instagram became the hottest place to be. And then like Reels were like such a big thing. And now they're like, okay, now carousels, like we're going to push that out. So they're bringing back like static images and like carousels and mixing static images with Reels and that. So I really do think that it is always changing. And now the biggest thing is like, they don't want voiceovers. They're saying direct talk to camera is going to be like the biggest, way for Reels to do better. And in terms of Amazon Live, that is just like a whole different kind of conversation. It is a really interesting platform. I mean, obviously that content can be evergreen. I know that I'm on Amazon Live TV as well, which is a whole new thing. I feel like there's so much about Amazon Live that people don't know. Half the people don't even know Amazon Live exists.
About not only just Amazon Live, but like also what's happening with Amazon Live TV.
Yeah, so Amazon Live TV is a cool thing. Like you can literally watch. They have like their live streaming channel. A lot of times we are like, if we're like tomorrow, I'm going to be live on TV. So at that time, you can go onto that channel and literally watch on TV, kind of like QVC. And then you pick up your phone and there's like directions on the show, and it'll be like type in shop the show on Amazon, and it'll literally bring you to everything on your phone. So you can chat with me while I'm doing all the things, and you can shop what I'm talking about. So it is an interactive live shopping experience, which is actually super fun. And they do have like repeat content on there. So like some of those shows are like replayed when no one is live. So there is evergreen content that they do show on there. There's been brands that have been on there and who have done sponsorships and all that kind of stuff. I do know that one of like the biggest creators on Amazon Live is starting a legit her own TV show. I don't know exactly what that's looking like yet. I'm not sure when it launches. So I think there's a lot of things coming down the pipeline for Amazon Live. It is, it's definitely interesting.
And when you do your Amazon Lives, how do you decide what products or apparel items you feature?
So I have 2 different shows that I'm pretty much doing on Amazon Live right now. So I have the Fit Verdict, which I do with a stylist, and we come on, we kind of theme it. Sometimes it's a brand that's reached out and they're like, hey, we want, like I want to do a live with you next month. Here are all the new clothing releases we have, pick what you want. And then Ashley and I will kind of theme it and do try-ons and talk about it, how to style it on the live. Another, which is like totally different sort of platform, is we run a book club on Amazon Live. which is once a month. And that has a massive community that comes to join us. And that's very different than more of like a salesy show. That is like a community based, people are coming up and very, very interactive on there, which is really interesting. And I know Samantha just asked how long should an Amazon Live be? That's like up to, I mean, people can go on there for 10 minutes if they want to go on there for 10 minutes. For us, I feel like normally when I'm on TV, it's either a 30-minute or a 1-hour slot. But most of my lives kind of run around an hour, I would say, is like typically how we do it.
That's great. And Lee, you brought up a point earlier, which is that like you look for healthy campaigns when you consider featuring a product in your storefront as well as the meta ads that you run. But are there other factors that come into play when deciding who to feature on your creator Amazon storefront?
Yeah, one thing that I've been kind of thinking about in how creator connections can make a brand stand out is when the whole portfolio of products is included. So sometimes a brand will only be like, this one product is in creator connections, but then nothing else is. I find that a little bit challenging, just if I'm going to put ad spend behind it or even take up some of my Instagram story real estate for that. Just knowing that people typically purchase more than one product from a brand if I'm recommending. And to touch on Instagram stories and what we were talking about before about how all creators have their own kind of success, whether it's Reels, TikTok, that sort of thing. I would say that my sweet spot is definitely Instagram stories. And those numbers aren't really consumer facing. So you can see how many comments a reel has gotten or how many views a reel has gotten. But I think there's a lot of creators out there that have this strong presence on stories. And that's where they make those true connections with their readers and can get direct clicks back to Amazon to your products.
Yeah.
So just a little tidbit, I guess, before I boost something on Meta, I'm typically testing in my organic Instagram stories feed to see how it performs before I decide to put money behind it. And then I go through and creator connections and see what makes the most sense product wise.
Makes sense. And then Mark actually had some great questions around, are you looking at sellers' Amazon storefronts to see if they're a good fit? Do you look at the product reviews? And how much inventory should a product be in stock?
I don't necessarily look at their storefronts, but I look at the product. I mean, if you guys are a reputable brand, obviously we're usually pretty aware of the brands, but I'll look at the product, but I don't necessarily go to their storefronts.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that there's no substitute for a good product in affiliate, right? You can offer 50% commission rates. You can structure your creator connections campaign perfectly. If your product isn't the right fit thematically for the creator you're talking to, or if it has 2.5 stars and is priced way out of whack and has terrible merch on the page, even Lee and Danielle probably are not going to have much success driving sales to that product, no matter what commission rate you're offering. So I think offering good commissions, offering good budgets, running campaigns for like the right amount of time with the right product selection, all of that is necessary, but you need to have a good sort of base of business and a really compelling product and product detail page on Amazon as kind of a base layer before you can really get into this channel and see success.
Yeah, you definitely have to be optimized for conversion. I would say if you're really trying to ramp up either your affiliate or even your paid media, having between that 60 to 90 days worth of inventory is likely a very good practice, especially during peak tentpole events when check-in times into FBA are often slower. Lee, you mentioned the preference of having access to the full catalog, but what if a brand is launching a new product and you'll likely make more money if you promote the hero product that has 4,000 reviews and just kills it for you? What can a brand do to motivate you to promote the new product versus the hero product?
I think that's where the long-term partnership comes in. It's not out of the ordinary that I'm talking to my community about some random lip balm because they know that I'm obsessed with their cleansing balm and I use their resurfacing pads. So I think that is definitely where the relationship comes in because it's authentic then. It's not just me coming on talking about another something. So they can trust me because they know I have, that relationship with the brand. That's a hard one if you're trying to like break in a product category. And because I definitely do look for products that have a ton of 5-star reviews because as a purchaser myself, I'm looking at reviews, I'm reading reviews. I want to make sure it has a 4 or 5 star. So I know that's easier for us to sell when it does. If something has 80,000, 4.5 star reviews, like that's a really good selling point on our behalf.
Yeah. And your reputation, right? Going back to the
True.
authenticity and good genuine recommendations. So brands have April, May really to prepare for Prime Day, which as we have shared is rumored to now be in June. What should the timeline be for brands in establishing these partnerships with creators so that they can lock in those placements to be a top Prime Day pick or those listicles that a lot of creators produce in response to Prime Day?
I think again, getting the product like in our hands, like sending it to us so we can try it and we have it. When I have Prime Day stuff, like I reuse a lot of my content that's already been shot. And I know everyone does Prime Day differently, but these big sales events, I literally go through all of the content that I have, all of my lists, all of my products, and look to see what's on sale that day, the ones that I really like that are top sellers. And that's kind of how I curate what I'm going to be posting. So I just think that the more that you can get your product in someone's hands, and I know this sounds like really cheesy, but when brands like send a PR package, but personalize it in some sort of way and like just do something out of the ordinary, not just like, here's my product, blah, 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 totally unsolicited. I don't know. I've just had a few brands like send things that are personalized. And like the one brand sent a Polaroid picture of me that said like joyful on it. And it was like so cute. And I was like, that was such a nice little touch. It's like still on my refrigerator from like a year ago. So I don't know. That's just a way to stand out, I guess. It just makes you think about them. And I remember a brand sent me something like no strings attached. And I was like, I'm going to post this and do a reel for them because that was just like super thoughtful that they did that. And like, I just felt like I wanted to do more for them, I guess.
Well, and Danielle, I think you highlighted, again, a very important theme that we really look to educate our clients on as it pertains to affiliate, which is it's not just you do it around the tentpole events, but that it needs to be an evergreen, ongoing opportunity. And the fact that you look at what the deals are and reuse content is one really efficient on your time. So I applaud you for that. Are you learning about the deals as they go live, or are brands letting you know ahead of time, like, hey, on Prime Day, we're going to be 30% off. Will you feature our products?
It's a little bit of both. So brands will definitely reach out and tell us these things. And obviously Amazon gives us a heads up and lists, but I have found that pre-organizing like brand, like if you were to set up a reel and like talk about percentages off like prior to it, those deals change the day of, things aren't on sale that are supposed to be on sale, the percentages are different. So I get frustrated with all of that. So I just like to kind of create it real time because I know like this is on sale right now, this is what's happening. Obviously if brands are like that I'm working with that are paying for sponsorships, like in my reels that day are like pretty confident about like, this is what's happening for them. But a lot of times, like, yeah, those lists and those numbers are inaccurate or something happens and that brand's not on sale or it sells out and you're like going to do this and it's not there anymore. So there's a lot of things that change.
Yeah. It's true. You can cancel the deal day of.
Yeah.
It is really easy to say like, oh, that blender that I was talking about last week, now it's like 40% off. So I think having that history of like just resharing your content is really important. This will be an interesting sale, knowing that we're not getting the data that we used to get. Because that's kind of how I discover new brands. And then you just discover what your audience is into. And then I'm like, oh, I like this too. And then it just is kind of this revolving door of sharing what we like through data that we don't have anymore.
Yeah. And I want to go through some of the questions that the audience has shared here. So I'm going to go up to the first one from Fatima here. And Danielle, you shared one of your red flags is when they try and sneak in their link versus your affiliate link. But are there any other things that could cause a creator to ghost a brand and deprioritize them, other than having a bad product?
I'm curious as to expand on that question. Like, what do you mean ghost? Like you're working with someone and a creator just like stops answering, or?
I mean, I've seen situations where there's dialogue, the creator asks for samples, we send samples, silence.
Oh, well, maybe the creator didn't like the samples,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, creators typically do get a lot of PR. It's literally impossible to try every single thing.
And typically with samples, it's like, I view it as a no strings attached.
Yeah.
So if somebody's going to send me something, they're going to hope that I want to talk about it, or hope that it gets on the feed, unless it is some kind of like monetary transaction, as like businessy as that is.
Yeah.
Kind of how I view PR.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Chris had a question about what happens when a campaign ends, and how can you set up a creator connections campaign successfully?
And looking at that question, because that is such a sore point for creators, and we've actually brought it up on Amazon panels about how campaigns end and then like we are unaware that they end. And like I will literally have, like fashion items that are up and I'm like, oh yeah, that's in Creator Connections, and I look and it's gone and I'm like, what the heck? But then I'll click on the product again and then there's a new one. And that is like the most frustrating thing. I feel like you guys are pretty good at communicating, like this campaign is coming up, or some brands run their campaigns for like a year and you don't even have to like think about it. But like these brands that are doing these like monthly or weekly things, it is awful. Like it really is disruptive, to answer the question.
You have to strike the right balance. We always advise clients to run at least one evergreen campaign that's pretty broad and includes a lot of products. Some have run it for up to a year. You can't add products to campaigns after they launch, so sometimes you have to layer on additional campaigns on top of it. But yeah, we always try to keep campaigns run out for at least the next quarter if it's an evergreen campaign. We never want people to see a campaign that's ending in a few days, even if we intend, or the brand intends to extend it, because you guys might see that and say, hey, it's not worth me joining this campaign because I won't even get the product in time to create content before it's over.
I'm hoping that Amazon takes our feedback and creates some sort of system that'll alert us, like this campaign has 2 days left or whatever it is, so we know. And then also like it ended, but the same product is starting in this campaign. Hopefully they'll do something about that.
Yeah. Tosha has a great question here, which is that typically products in the affiliate space are repeatable, maybe lower price point, but what about special occasion or high investment or even seasonal based products? How are you viewing that as an opportunity as a creator? Like those bigger ticket items, or do you maybe only focus on products that are sub $50 or $100?
I think for bigger ticket items, it comes down to sales. It's really, really easy to promote a sale and or a stackable code. Amazon makes it really hard to find, like, where do I even put the code? I can't even figure it out. So I rely on sales, the big sales. And then if like one of my big sellers last week was a mini blender that I use all the time, I saw that it was 50% off. They must be like cycling through their inventory. So I sold a bunch, like maybe a couple hundred, and it was like a $200 blender. So I think relying on sales, and then the big sale periods are typically when I get the biggest return, I guess, on people buying big ticket items. But I'm mostly focused on evergreen items under 50, unless it's a sale.
Danielle?
I know that some people will only take a brand deal or will only post products if they are in Creator Connections. So I know that different influencers kind of do it their own ways. And maybe I need to lean more into that and not accept things if they're not in Creator Connections. So for me, I don't tend to like, I don't know, like the other day I had a wedding. I was doing like a black tie dress try on, and one of the dresses was like $300. Like it's just a dress that I wanted, that I have for like an event that, I'm posting, and that's just falling into the timeline. So I don't look at it as like, oh, this is on Creator Connections, it's expensive, I'm going to do it. It's like if it's falling into my content and it happens to be on Creator Connections, then that works out great for me. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I am going to pass this back to Shep because we just have a few minutes here to close out the conversation. And the biggest thing here that I want to share with the group before I pass it to Shep is POV and data that we've seen. If a brand is just creating campaigns, it can maybe drive between 3 and 5% incremental revenue. But if you have a real proactive approach, it can be north of 10%. So that's really the impact that can happen. And we just wanted to flag some of those areas where you can maybe fall flat if you're not setting yourself up for success.
Like we talk about affiliate as a channel, and I'm guilty of doing that as well. But really, affiliate is just a payment model. It's a way of compensating creators for their influence and for driving traffic to product pages. And it's a great way to do so scalably and work with a lot of folks and figure out who your best long-term partners are going to be. We see Creator Connections as a great way to partner with folks like Lee and Danielle and get a sense for which of our clients' products are resonating with their audience. And then we can kind of use that as a jumping off point for as they talked about, longer term partnerships, different business models, and different ways of partnering over the long haul. So again, Creator Connections and Amazon affiliate marketing in general has just really exploded, especially over the last year. There's a good chance if you're a brand watching this, if you're not already investing in Amazon affiliate marketing, many of your competitors probably already are. Tens of thousands of new brands have joined Creator Connections just in the last year. So that creates its share of challenges, as we heard about today, in terms of getting your campaigns noticed, getting your brand in front of the right creators. But I think it also creates a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of money from Creator Connections and from these campaigns that's available to folks like Lee and Danielle and many like them. And the more campaigns and the more brands that join the platform, the bigger that opportunity grows, which I think is going to be ultimately a rising tide lifts all boats situation, as long as you have someone at the wheel who is driving campaign strategy.
Yes, and as Shep has called out, we are offering a free month of affiliate setup and management for those who want to test it out. As we've also kind of alluded to, now is a great time to test it before Prime Day and even set up some of that inventory and establish those partnerships with wonderful creators like Lee and Danielle leading into that event. So if you're interested in learning more, we wanted to get everyone a low risk option to learn a little bit more and experience more about the benefits of affiliate on Amazon. So thank you, everyone. You can scan this QR code to learn more. We also have 2 case studies that showcase how affiliate can really drive performance and that it is a build. It doesn't happen overnight. So thank you all for your questions, your engagement. Most importantly, thank you, Lee and Danielle. I am in the presence of celebrities within the affiliate economy. So thank you again for your time. It is very much appreciated.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
It's been fun.